As we told you last week, Jackson, Mississippi has been without water. They actually have been on a boil alert since July. The residents of the city have not had clean water to drink, and this has been a recurring problem in the city that has gone completely neglected and obviously ignored by the media. Jordan Chariton of Status Coup is with us now. His team has been on the ground talking to residents of Jackson, Mississippi about exactly what is going on there. Great to see you, Jordan.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and we've got your YouTube site there up on the screen so people can see your channel. You guys are always doing great on-the-ground reporting of critical issues that are being ignored by the media. So anyone, if you are able to, go ahead and subscribe to what they are up to. But Jordan, just give us a little bit of a sense of who you all were able to talk to and what the situation is on the ground right now.
Yeah, Louis DeAngelis, who's a reporter for us, is down there and kind of just popping around different water distribution sites. Yesterday was Labor Day, so folks finally got some time off, the folks that were volunteering to kind of rest. But he's been speaking with activists who are delivering water, older residents who obviously are more vulnerable in really, really hot temperatures without water. And it's really a pattern in what we're hearing. I mean, he's talking to people who are describing their grandparents, watching their grandparents boil water in Jackson, Mississippi. Wow. So this is a generational issue. It's not, yes, the current situation is acute, but this has been going on for a long time. Parts of Jackson have infrastructure over 100 years old. And there has definitely been a race aspect here between the state government and the white state leadership and the black leadership of Jackson.
Yeah, and I think we have some footage from there. Let's take a listen to some of that.
Do you want to just talk about kind of your situation, how the water crisis has been affecting you here so far?
Well, it's very slow, and you can't drink the water. And then I got 2 young babies in the house, so of course, it's rough because you got to feed bottles, and then you got to, be careful of how they bathe and not put the water in their mouth. And because one of them have allergies so bad, so we got to make sure that they don't get anything, or else they have to go to the emergency room. She already had to take them to the doctor because the allergy flared up since the water got started.
And we pay our water bills.
Yeah.
And I haven't been affected with the high water bill, but I've had members at our church who are elderly people, so we know they're not using a whole lot of water, and they're using the same consistent water.
Right.
And last month, your water bill might have been $45, $50, $60, but then here you come with an $1,800 water bill.
Right.
And that shouldn't be so.
I don't drink the water, and I'm afraid to drink the water because I'm scared it got some kind of disease in it, and I don't want to get no disease, and I don't want to go to no hospital, and I got a hubby disabled, and I'm disabled, and we can't take no chance being sick or going to the hospital because my insurance would pay for me to go, but Medicaid don't pay for all his, and I've been going down getting water, bottled water, to take care of me and my husband and take care of my animals.
Oh my God, it's just horrific, Jordan. I mean, these are just some of the stories that we were able to play. I mean, beyond that, just what does that mean to the people in Jackson? Because you were mentioning to us before, media cameras are leaving, but this thing is just getting started. It's a lot like Flint in a lot of ways, which you covered too.
Yeah, it's really deja vu to the beginning of Flint in 2016. Basically, this is over $1 billion problem. The infrastructure is very old. You have levees that need repair. A surrounding river, in this situation, flooded. The water treatment plant, like most water treatment plants around the country, very outdated, very understaffed. So it's not just the infrastructure, it's all the surrounding things and, the water plant, equipment, staffing that's problematic, not just in Jackson, all over the country, in a lot of major cities. And you have a governor, frankly, who has vetoed repeatedly bills that would have provided relief to residents for water bills, would have provided infrastructure upgrades in Jackson. He's even vetoed, bills that would provide funding for Jackson's hospitals, parks. Seems to be an issue where he keeps vetoing relief to Jackson, Mississippi, while providing funds for surrounding white suburbs. So yeah, this is a major problem. The federal government, frankly, needs to step in here. There's also the issue, which doesn't really get a lot of attention. Federal money that's been earmarked for Jackson somehow has been diverted to other entities and suburbs. This happened in Flint too. A lot of people don't realize $170 million that was earmarked from Congress for Flint. Very little of that went to Flint, as well as the state money that was earmarked for Flint. It was going to foundations and law firms and banks. A lot of boondoggle is going on here. So yeah, I think the federal government needs to step in here. And they're saying the water pressure is back, but that's not consistent throughout the city. And then there's the issue of the water quality.
Yeah, I mean, we covered back in that when we were at Rising and there was a winter storm there that also, devastated the city in terms of, I think there were pipes that were freezing and the whole system went down and people were unable to drink the water. They were unable to get water at that time. So this has been known for years and years. It does remind me a lot of Flint because obviously you have two cities that have been, basically abandoned by the state, both poor, both largely Black. What are the residents saying about how this makes them feel about, how they're treated by society, how they're treated by their state, how they're viewed by the nation, that they would be so abandoned and neglected that it could get to this point?
Yeah, Lewis has been speaking with a lot of residents. I spoke with residents last week, and you kind of hear a similar tone, which is just they're used to this. They're used to kind of just fighting for scraps. It's sad that has steeped in that kind of complacency, but they're used to kind of getting the short end. Jackson is nearly 25% poverty rate. There's some people making less than $15,000 a year. Some folks that Lewis spoke with were talking about, like, this might put me over the edge to leave. But where do you go if you're, obviously not making a ton of money for your family? But they're used to it. A lot of the folks, even young people, know the history. After desegregation in schools, there was white flight, which cratered the taxpayer base, left, the Black population rising, but the white population shrinking. And this has happened in Flint, Detroit. I mean, many areas around the country where progress in civil rights have left major cities really stuck financially. And you also have, little things. The governor at his press conferences didn't invite the Black mayor to stand with him until recently. There's been kind of this tug of war. The March 2020 time period you talked about with the last time there was a water shutdown. The governor was saying, well, maybe the residents should pay their water bills before asking for more help. So it's not just the water is poisonous. There's a real poisonous climate with government. And this governor, on a broader scale, he's talking about now sending $130 million back to the federal government that was earmarked for Mississippi as part of rental relief, saying we don't need these liberal handouts. That money would disproportionately go to places like Jackson.
And I saw also this morning that the governor is suggesting maybe they should privatize the water system. How do you think that would work out, Jordan?
It's working out great in Flint, Detroit, and many other cities.
Isn't that what precipitated Flint? Can you give the background on that?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize Flint had gotten its water from Detroit for almost 50 years. Glacial fresh water from Lake Huron, one of the Great Lakes, and local officials in Flint and state officials created a completely brand new water system called the Carragandi Water Authority. In a nutshell, it was going along the same exact path as the existing pipeline that Flint got its water from with no problem. And this new water system, they call it a public authority, but a lot of private interests, Wall Street banks wrote the bonds. And that deal, which somehow Flint was allowed to borrow nearly $100 million to join this new water system, that deal precipitated Flint using the Flint River in the first place. So this new water system is largely a privatized system. A lot of Flint residents, government officials actually believed it was really designed so that Michigan could frack more, because this new water system was raw water, which you need a lot of that for fracking. whereas the water Flint got from Detroit was already treated. So yeah, that privatization was very, very prevalent underneath the Flint water crisis.
Got it.
Well, as always, we're grateful that you all are on the ground speaking with residents and really understanding, what this has meant for their life, because that's obviously the most important aspect of the story. And I know that you'll stay on top of it. Jordan, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you guys are able, as we said, we're running a promo for the next month, 90%, I keep saying that, 10% off. 10% off, so 90% of the value for what you pay for our annual membership. It's the membership which helps us absolutely the most. And that money, as we showed you, that is going towards expansions and supporting our content partners like Jordan Chariton, like Counterpoints Friday, and we're in the midst of hiring right now. By the way, thank you to the hundreds and hundreds of people who have sent your job resumes. You've given us quite a bit of work to do here.
Excited and overwhelmed all at once.
Genuinely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I had to turn email notifications off because I was like, I can't take this anymore. It's literally just, my phone was literally just lighting up.
We have a lot of very qualified viewers of this
from
program.
all over the world too. I'm like, literally, I saw one resume from Prague, so shout out to Prague. So anyway, keep them coming. If you're in there, we're going to be deciding over the next couple of weeks or so, but you will be directly involved in this. Thank you to the premium members who enable all of this. Link down in the description. We will see you all on Thursday.
Love y'all. See you Thursday. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.